Hey, everybody. This is Thomas.
And this is Ned.
Yeah, I'm joined by Ned here. We both are here today after season 1 is wrapped. We've wrapped everything, and boy, it's a bit surreal, isn't it?
It's very surreal
to be here. But the purpose of this, which you probably gathered from the title, is to kind of give you some updates on iCast Fireball, a state of the Fireball. The state of where things are going, how they are, and what we're planning in the future, basically.
Precisely.
First and foremost, season 1 is over, as we just stated, and as a result, we are going to be taking, as a cast and crew, by taking a brief hiatus from posting story episodes for the next few months, specifically until season 2 will debut. So what's that going to look like? That means for all of February, March, and April, there will be no story-based episodes of ICF.
But that's as long as you have to wait, because Campaign 2 will be debuting on May 1st of this year.
Yes, almost 3 years, almost to the day since we debuted season 1, actually. So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice that it's coming full circle there. But season 2 will be going back to May 1st, and we will be going back to the regular release schedule that we had gotten into with season 1. You can expect that same release schedule to be almost weekly episodes of the story of season 2.
Fortunately, you don't have to be entirely without content during that hiatus, because on the first Wednesday of March and April, we're going to be releasing a couple bonus episodes. In March, we're going to have another Commune with Dungeon Master episode. We've gotten a lot of questions from people about, what are the ways in which Thomas kind of customized this adventure? There are a lot of ways in which it diverged from Tyranny of Dragons. So we're going to kind of lean into some of those questions a little bit.
Yeah, in addition to that, something that Ned and I have been really excited to talk about, we've teased in previous Community Dungeon Masters, the reactive DMing that we've really started to jive well with in both of our respective podcasts here as well. So stay tuned for that at the beginning of March. But then April, we are going to be having our final word of recall for season 1. I foresee this being a very long episode,
Yes.
a very long word of recall. We haven't even asked for questions, I think, other than the epilogue. And we've already got over 30 or something like that, over 30 questions. So quite a bit of material that we're going to be covering here. So, but that's to say, even though we've gotten 30 right now, we want you to send us all of your questions. Send us your questions to us so that we can then put it into Word of Recall and get all of the questions of Season 1 answered. We don't want anything left undone or not talked about as we move into Season 2.
And since this is going to be such a long episode, we anticipate, we want to give our editors a little bit of extra time to make sure that it's ready in time for release. So we will be taking questions up through March 15th, the Ides of March. Beware it. Because if you do not beware it and get your questions in before then they might not get answered, and that would be unfortunate.
Now, because time is wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, if you just so happen to miss that March 15th because you were waiting to listen for spoilers, or if you found this podcast like 3 years after season 1 ended, and you still have questions, you can always shoot us an email, but probably the best and fastest way to get answers to your questions or to see if it's already been answered is to go join our Discord. You can jump on Patreon, you can jump on that tier and talk with us daily and other fans daily about these questions and see what, or theories as well, if we have purposely left things unanswered.
You probably have most questions about Campaign 2. What's Campaign 2 going to look like, Thomas?
Well, we are going to tease a little bit about what Campaign 2 is going to be right here. We're not going to go into extensive detail, but we are really excited. We've been talking about this. I think we've teased it in the most minute sense, actually, in ICF on our episodes for the past year. This is how long we've been planning to do this type of campaign, but it is going to be a seafaring adventure. So journeys on the high seas, and in the words of Titans of Altera, a boat-based adventure here. So
yes.
We're really passionate about that. We're real excited. We've got some like really fun ideas, things we want to try out. It's not going to be exactly like this because no D&D campaign is ever exactly what you model it after, but I really liked Pirates of the Caribbean growing up. The first one I thought had a lot of fun, wacky hijinks and like classic pirate-ness on there. So we're going to have pirates. We're going to have naval situations. We're going to have boat-based battles. We're going to have magic being thrown back and forth. Boats here. It's going to be a really, really fun time.
Yeah, Thomas has been talking to me about how much he wants to do a pirate-themed adventure for years, even before we decided that's what we were going to do for the podcast.
True.
And when the DM is that passionate about the material, you can tell it's going to be good.
Some other notes about season 2, though, is it will not be taking place in the land of Faerun. Faerun is where Tyranny of Dragons and most D&D campaigns are being established or they're being run off the Sword Coast. This adventure is going to be taking place in an established world in published adventures, but it's going to be in the world of Golarion.
Yes, this is an interesting one. Some of our more well-traveled listeners in the RPG space may recognize that Golarion is the world where Pathfinder's adventures take place. Now,
What?
Yeah, it's a really cool world. We just want to let you know right off the bat, though, we are still going to be playing D&D 5e. That is the game that we feel like really fits well for this podcast. But Thomas and I, we adore the world of Golarion and the cool world building they've got there and the fun history and just everything involved there. So we think you're going to really like it too.
Yeah, if you're listening to this episode, you've probably listened to all the other bonus episodes where Ned and I have talked at length about how Pathfinder's where we got started. So Golarion, the world in general, is something that is really close to our hearts and really that we're really passionate about. And it is classic fantasy. So you're going to be having a lot of the same hijinks and a lot of the same races that you've come across, maybe even some new ones. But again, want to reiterate, D&D 5e is our jam when it comes to our system that we're going to be actually using. So you don't have to learn a new rule set. Everything should be good to go moving forward, and you can join us on that ride.
Indeed.
So Ned, what do you think? Maybe we give like one more tease for season 2 before we sign off here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds fun. I mean, we've got, we have a nice core group of people performing here on ICF that we really enjoy, but we're going to be bringing in another cast member for campaign 2.
Yes, starting with episode 1. We will not only we'll have Ned, Jacob, and Mickey, of course. We're going to be adding a 4th member to the ICF crew here, whoever they decide to call themselves. But we're going to be having a 4th cast member joining us for season 2. And we're stoked. We're real excited about who we brought on. And it is going to be a really fun time. And they're going to be really adding a lot to this adventure. So that's all we'll say about that. And for who that 4th cast member is, you can either join us on I'm not sure if we'll tease it on our social media pages, just if we'll be able to before we drop season 2. But at the very least, you got to join us for when we drop season 2, the day of May 1st there.
And in the meantime, conspire. Put together your fan theories. Who do you think is going to be the 4th player for ICF Campaign 2?
Hashtag Thomas DM and player all the way.
Yes, because that's not going to be an excessive amount of work on top of what you're already doing.
Yes, of course, right? It's not like I'm already playing like 50 characters in an entire campaign as well. Folks, that's going to do it for us today. We just wanted to give you an update now that the epilogue has finally been released last week. We love you all. We love you so much for joining us. If you're listening to this, that means you're excited about the future of ICF, and we're obviously excited too. So thank you so much for being passionate about ICF and supporting us. And this is just one of the last things I'll say. Your reviews, your messages, your Discord channels, your contributions, monetary or just through words, every single response we get from you fans means the world to us. We have a chat where we literally, every single email we send to each other, so we all are talking about it. We're all reading it and talking about how lucky we are to have some of the best D&D fans on the entire earth.
Yeah, it's a very, very kind and enthusiastic community, which I really appreciate. So if you send it to us, we're going to read it. And we're going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go ahead and sign off there, but we will see you next month, me and Ned, with our Commune with Dungeon Master there. But if the bonus episodes are not your jam, we'll see you on May 1st for season 2. With that, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Ned.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody. We'll see you next time.